This episode of Funky Fitness Now is made possible by listeners like you. Get exclusive rewards and more by visiting funkyfitnessnow.com/support.
Funky Fitness Now, episode 54, Underwater Weight Training and Exercise.
Welcome to Funky Fitness Now, where every week we take a look at some of the creative, unusual, and crazy things people do to get fit. We have a lot of fun, and occasionally we even learn something. So fasten your weight belt. It's time for Funky Fitness Now. Here are your hosts, Steve Stearns and Jessica Bailey.
Hi, and welcome to Funky Fitness Now, episode 54. I'm Steve Stearns from Outside Health and Fitness, and I am totally excited that you're here because this is like the third or fourth or fifth time that we have done this episode, believe it or not, because we want it to be perfect for you. That's why. And speaking of someone that wants it to be perfect for you, my co-host from Sassy Girl Fitness NYC, Jessica Bailey.
Hi. Okay. Yes, we have done this like 3 or 4 times. It's actually really ridiculous, but we really wanted the quality to sound good,
right.
So we kept having to redo it.
That's right, and we tried.
But it's all because of our love for this podcast.
Exactly, and we tried to do some live stuff, which just didn't kind of work out. So, not that we've given up on that concept, but for right now, we're going to go back to our normal ways, the things that we know how to do.
So tonight we're talking about underwater weightlifting. And on today's show, we're going to share a fitness resource for all you sweaty Bettys out there.
And we're going to answer the question, why do I see dumbbells bobbing on the surface of that pool?
And I have an amazing fitness tip for you that includes water.
Excellent.
So before we get started today, we want to make sure that you know that we're not endorsing any of the therapies, exercise programs, equipment, ideas, foods, or supplements that we're sharing with you on the show.
Right. If you hear something that we're talking about and you think that that might be something you would like to try, we ask you to check with your doctor first. You know, it's always a good idea to get their okay before you start any new exercise or diet plan. So this week's funky resource is a site called Sweaty Betty, which is a perfect name because we're talking all about water and wetness and all that kind of stuff today. And this site offers some really great online fitness classes that you can do easily in the comfort of your own home. So Sweaty Betty has yoga workouts, HIIT routines, and other types of fitness for you to try. The cool thing is, whether you are a fitness pro or you're just a beginner, good old Sweaty Betty has something that is going to get you out there and sweating up a storm. It's a pretty cool site, and I love the name. Totally love the name.
I love the name too, and actually I have experience with this. I have actually taught for Sweaty Betty.
Really?
And yeah, they have like classes. They have a space where you can actually go to their store, and then it's a space where you can work out. So it's not like you're working out among the clothing.
How does Sweaty Betty smell? Is she pretty repulsive, or I mean, have you met Betty herself?
No, I didn't notice the smell. No scent at all. It was very, very clean.
Nice.
But they also have great clothing, and I really love everything that they stand for. They stand for, like, taking care of yourself and being happy and being healthy, and I think it's a great, great resource, and I totally think that everyone should check out their home workouts.
Excellent. And I think it's sweatybetty.com, right? That's where they should go.
Yeah, sweatybetty.com. I will put a link in the show notes that will take you directly to the site. And while you're there, you should also pick up a few items for your wardrobe.
Fantastic. And they have the big sweat stains underneath them. So it's awesome. Even if you haven't worked out, you look like you... Or am I making that up?
Yes, you're making that up because they do not have sweat stains already. Ew.
That would be awesome. Let's dive right into the underwater weightlifting and exercise here. When we first started talking about doing this, what were your thoughts initially? Because I was kind of thinking like, I don't understand why someone would do this. It's almost like heavy things and going underwater don't really mix together well in my head, you know?
Yeah, the first thing I thought was, why? I'm fine on ground.
Yeah.
And why would you put yourself in harm's way? You could die.
Right.
I don't want to die, and I don't want to ruin my dumbbells.
Yeah. I know, that's right.
Right.
You look at those. Remember, you see those pictures sometimes online where some kid's in his basement and he tries to bench press too much stuff, and then he gets stuck under it, and he has to cry for his mom to come help him out. I mean, what if that happens when you're in underwater?
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I don't know. How do you communicate? You can't. No one can hear you yell.
Right. They can't hear you scream underwater.
Yeah,
It could be
this is
very
weird.
dangerous.
But I mean, I understand why people do it because water is really resistant.
Yeah.
Right? So you get this amazing body workout, like your whole entire body is involved, and you don't have the risk of injuring yourself like you would when you're jumping or you're running or anything that involves impact. Your joints are taking that impact, and in water, you don't have that. So
Absolutely.
I can see the appeal.
Yeah, so right, in water, I mean, you've got the extra resistance of the water because it's just much more dense than it is working up here on land, and like you said, at the same time, it's a much lower impact. We've I think even on this show we've talked about the underwater treadmill concept, and a lot of people are moving toward things like that because you get this great cardiovascular workout, and at the same time, you're not giving your knees and your joints that pounding that you do when you're running, on land or on pavement or something like that. So it does make sense.
Yeah. I know, it does make sense. The thing I question about this all the time, I'm like, well, do you do this in shallow water or deep water?
Right.
So I did some Google research, and I found out that, like, when you first start, you should be doing it in shallow water.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For example, let's say you're doing a squat, right? Your head is above water when you start the squat, and then at the bottom of the squat, you're below water.
Right.
So you're having to hold your breath, right? But it's less scary, and it's a nice way to let your body in on the little secret, like, hey, I'm going to start training you underwater.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
It would not be good if you miscalculated and you came up, at the top of your squat, you came up to take a deep breath and you were still underwater. That wouldn't go over well.
Right. There's
gotta really-
like a lot of water in your nose.
Yeah, you got to do some measurement here, people, before you start. And the other thing that I thought was interesting was they don't just do this in a pool. I found a video of this guy. I think he was in the Caribbean doing bench presses underwater. I was like, interesting.
Right?
Not what I would be
Which
doing, but in the Caribbean if I was there. But
Nope. If I was in the Caribbean, or when I am in the Caribbean, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I am on a beach, I am reading a book, or I am in the ocean.
yes,
That is what I am doing.
but not bench pressing in the ocean. Plus, you got to carry all that
No.
stuff out there. Yeesh.
Right? Well, the thing that you need to make sure that you have is someone that is like a spotter. Someone
Right.
that is watching you in case there is an emergency, in case you do need medical attention, all of that stuff. Or wonder if, like, you knock yourself out. Wonder if you go unconscious. You need someone there so you don't end up dying.
And they got to have a waterproof phone because they're going to be underwater with you to see.
Right. You do need a waterproof phone. Or you can put your phone in a Ziploc bag.
That's right. Now, if you are not totally into like doing heavy weightlifting underwater, you can still do some pretty intense exercises like in a pool and in water. I found a couple of different ones that I thought I would share. One of them is called the cell phone. So this one is you hold a 10-pound weight with a straight arm over your head and you side stroke to the other side of the pool. And they call it the cell phone because you're trying to keep the weight dry, like if you had a cell phone in your hand.
Ah, that sounds so fun and sounds so cute. I like that idea.
Yeah, and I bet it's not easy to do either. It's probably pretty tough. And then you just reverse and go
Yeah.
the other way.
Did you find a couple more?
Well, there was one more I wanted to tell you about. This one's called the seahorse. So this one, you squeeze a 10 or 20-pound dumbbell between your thighs, and you hold your legs out in front of you. So you're kind of bent at the waist in kind of like a V formation, and you use your arms to stay afloat and move your body across the length of the pool with your feet, like your ankles kind of sticking out of the water. Does that sound hard or what?
It sounds very difficult.
Yes.
But this brings up a good question.
Okay.
You're like, what kind of clothing do you need to be wearing while you do this? Like,
Right.
my instinct is that you would just wear your swimming trunks. And guess what? My instinct was right.
See, I was thinking
You
like a
do.
snowmobile suit.
No, you wear you're barefoot, just like you would be when you're going swimming in a pool, and you wear like swim trunks or proper swimming wear for women. Not your like itty bitty bikini, and you can just like wear your normal stuff, but you want to make sure that you have snorkeling goggles, not the little like swimmer goggles just to like protect your eyes. Snorkeling goggles, so it also covers your nose. So
yeah. I am surprised.
Obviously,
I'm surprised that there's no actual footwear, because particularly if you're doing the weights thing. Clearly, if you dropped a 75-pound weight underwater, it's going to go to the bottom, not quite as fast as it's going to go on land, but it's still going to go to the bottom, and it's still going to hurt if it hits your foot, right?
Yeah, but you have enough time to move.
Oh.
Right? Think about how resistant the water is, right? It things move a little bit slower. Like when you're carrying a person underwater, you have to move a little bit slower. It's not as fast as you would be on land. And when you're in water, you're not jumping. There's no that impact on the joints like we talked about a little earlier. It's not happening when you're underwater. So obviously you wouldn't need like sneakers or anything like that.
Right.
Just you and your body and clothes that can get wet.
Now, what about this? Because this happens at the gym sometimes. There you are. You're out there. You're working out. Everything's going well. And all of a sudden, you got to go to the bathroom. Now, at the gym,
yes,
it's pretty easy. You just go to the bathroom. You just go back into the locker room. What do you do if you're underwater? Do you pee in the pool?
Oh.
Yuck.
No, you don't pee in that pool, because remember the story your mother told you. The water would turn red or turn purple or something, and everyone would know that you peed in that pool.
That is not true.
Pee in the pool.
That is not a true story, because I pee in the pool all the time, and it never happens.
Really?
Yep. Constantly peeing in pools. I love it.
Why are you constantly peeing in a pool?
It's like, some people collect stamps. I like to just find a pool and pee in it. No, I don't do this. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
That's interesting.
Wouldn't that be a terrible hobby?
Yes, I don't like that hobby. I think you need to get a new hobby.
Okay.
Hobby of peeing in pools is not good.
No, that's not good.
And it's not good for like the other people that are in the pool with you. They're like swimming in your urine. What the heck?
Everyone's swimming around in the toilet. I know. Well, the reason I brought that up, because I had a reason to bring this up. While I was looking around and doing some research, I found the top 14 places to poop before you die. And one of them is a bathroom that is underwater. So it would be perfect.
Ooh.
See?
I like the idea of pooping in different places. That sounds great.
Yes, we'll have to do a completely other show on that. But I had to work that in because, it's a legitimate concern. You're weightlifting, you got to go number one, and you got to find a place to do it. Now you have a bathroom. Perfect.
And pooping is a way of life. What were you thinking are the cons of weightlifting underwater? For me, the number one thing is pruny skin or dying because I drown. That's kind of important too.
That would be the number one that I would think of. Like I said, heavy things in water, I kind of think about drowning, But yeah, I agree. I think it's that. It also may not be that comfortable. I mean, it might be cold. That could be a con.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. The temperature of the water is really important.
Yep.
The temperature outside, because once you get out of the pool, there's so many factors.
Yeah, and
You're right.
It's probably a whole bunch of work, too, because you got to drop everything in the pool. You got to, you know what I mean? As opposed to just walk into your gym and do your thing.
So what's your opinion about this? Are you pro underwater weightlifting or against underwater weightlifting?
Pro or con? I think with regard to the weightlifting itself, I'm kind of thumbs down. I think to me, I don't really see what the huge advantage to doing it is, other than that it's just kind of a novelty thing. I just soon do it on the land. But I do see, like we were talking about earlier with the reduction of impact on your joints and stuff, that working out in water or underwater for that reason is a plus. So basically I have no opinion at all.
Okay. I want to share my opinion.
Okay.
My opinion is I don't want to drown.
That's a good opinion.
So Like you, I do agree that like the impact on the joints and all that stuff, great, wonderful. I support it, but I really feel that like this would be a very, very stressful workout, especially for someone that's new to fitness. I feel like I would have to get all my equipment in the pool, underwater. It would have to stay there. I would have to figure out how much weight I actually need to use, and then I have to worry about breathing. Okay. People will have to worry about breathing when they're on land. I can't imagine having to worry about breathing when I am underwater.
Exactly.
This is very stressful.
Agreed. Okay. So we're both kind of thumbs down on the weightlifting underwater thing.
Yep, thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Okay. So
yeah.
Let's get right into your tip of the week, because I'm really eager to hear how this tip of the week kind of works with this whole water concept.
So my tip of the week is to drink water when you're bloated. And the reason behind this is because when you're bloated, drinking water sounds as if it would only make matters worse, but it can often help. So if you're on a high-fiber diet, for instance, your body needs more water to work more efficiently. Drinking water also relieves bloating caused by dehydration. So when you're dehydrated, your body clings to the water that it does already have, causing you to puff up.
See, that's really interesting, because you're right. That would be like the last thing that I would feel like doing if I was bloated, was drink more water.
Correct. So the next time you're bloated, drink some water.
So it kind of just helps you kind of flush out. That's great. Speaking of bloated and flushing, we have launched a Patreon campaign, and we would love to tell you all about it.
You know we love doing Funky Fitness and bringing you some of the more unusual things and ideas people are doing to stay fit and active.
Right, and we'd like to ask you for your support, and that's why we've set up your Patreon page. When you become a Funky Fitness fan, you help make this show possible and keep it ad-free. And on your page, you'll find some really cool rewards like behind-the-scenes videos and bonus content.
Yeah, and you'll get episodes before anyone else. Personalized videos and a bunch of other cool, funky stuff.
So visit funkyfitnessnow.com/support and become a Funky Fitness fan now. We really appreciate it. So, Jess, what do we have coming up next week?
Next week is very, very gross.
Excellent.
We are going to talk about sewer surfing and other disgusting sports.
Wow. I cannot wait for that. That sounds like it's going to be truly disgusting. So until next time, I'm Steve Stearns.
And I'm Jessica Bailey saying stay fit and funky.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you haven't already, make sure you visit funkyfitnessnow.com for more of the weird, wild, and kooky things people do to stay fit. While you're there, be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter so you never miss an episode. See you next week.